I was reborn as an earthworm in the mountains. To survive, I had to ascend and become a snake, so I used my human side to keep the beast in check. Every day it was either doing snake dances for a bunch of monkeys or throwing punches at baby bulls. After 500 years, I finally transformed into a snake and became the top predator of the whole territory. But slowly, the beast inside me started winning, and my memories from my past life were fading fast. Then one day, a herb collector fell into a stream up in the mountains. My last bit of humanity kicked in, and I pulled him out and dropped him off at the foot of the mountain. I figured that was the end of it. But a few days later, this guy showed up in front of me again. He pulled out a few boiled eggs and started bowing over and over. "You saved my life. Please don't think this is too little. I've got a wife and kids back home. I gotta stay alive." Deep in the autumn mountains, I make my living picking herbs. I was honestly speechless. Thought this dude was being greedy, so I turned around and walked away. But the herb guy saw I didn't bite, so he took that as a yes. After that, he became a regular in my neck of the woods. I'd coil up in the trees every day watching him gather herbs and tend to his seedlings. Slowly, he built up a little herb garden. Every now and then, we'd run into each other, and he'd just plop right down and start rambling, saying he'd been picking a ton of herbs lately, enough to feed the whole family, and that he owed me big time. Eventually, I got so tired of his yapping that I just started avoiding him every day. Half a year went by like that. The seedlings he'd planted started to mature, and he was harvesting more herbs than ever. That started turning heads back in the village. One day, mid-cultivation, I finished my training and suddenly sensed 3 warm human figures had appeared in the herb garden. I was furious. I thought the herb guy had brought people in on his own. "You really think this place is your backyard or something?" So I charged down the mountain, ticked off. But when I got to the edge of the garden, I saw the herb guy face down in the dirt, blood on his lips, both hands gripping a villager's leg for dear life. "These are my herbs, you can't take them." The guy was a wiry, tough-looking dude, and hearing that just made him kick harder. "This your mountain? This is our turf. You've got some nerve-stealing herbs from us." The other two were cracking up, already moving to yank out the herbs. The herb guy had to let go of the wiry dude's leg and spread his arms wide to shield his 2 most valuable plants. No matter how many kicks and hits they threw, he wouldn't budge. Watching this, I couldn't help but think, getting violent over a few common herbs? Was it really worth it? Right when I was debating whether to step in, I noticed the wiry guy had gone red in the face with rage, veins popping. He suddenly whipped out a machete he used for clearing brush and brought it down on the herb guy's back. The machete was heavy and not super sharp, but it still tore a nasty gash in the herb guy. The other two froze. They were just regular villagers and they never actually wanted to kill anyone. But the wiry guy wouldn't stop. He shouted, "Relax, there's nobody here but us. Who's gonna know?" He was trying to drag the other two in, but he waited and heard nothing. When he instinctively turned to look, he felt something clamp tight around his neck, like he'd been grabbed by something. Then the pain hit. My venom flooded through his neck and into his body. Not even a magic pill could bring him back at that point. After I dropped the wiry guy, I raised my head and looked at the other two. They were already scared out of their minds, stumbling over each other to get out. I didn't chase them. I didn't feel bad about it either. 500 years of living like a wild beast had wiped out most of my humanity. The herb guy stared at me in terror. Maybe it hit him for the first time. The white snake in front of him was a deadly predator. After I dumped the body into an ant colony, I went back to the herb garden and noticed the herb guy had gone real quiet. From that point on, the look in his